Hello, and welcome to another episode of The End of the Search. This one I call it The Ego Sells Results. What do I mean by that? The ego is the belief that I'm a separate entity. That's the first thing we have to have clear. So the ego is not something that I have or that we have, The ego is simply the belief that I am this separate individual who is separate from everything. Because we feel separate, that immediately makes me feel scarce. Because what we are is wholeness, and wholeness is everything. But the moment I believe that I'm a separate individual, feeling separate, I feel scarce. And then I'm trying to change the individual. I'm trying to find that which quote-unquote benefit the individual. I'm trying to finding things that complete me. And everything is about me. Everything is about the individual. Me. What is best for me, and it's seeking of pleasure and the avoidance of pain and all of that, right? So, when there's identification with the seeming me, then I'm always pursuing results, whatever the case may be. Now, you may say, okay, let's say I'm dealing with a health issue, shouldn't I want the result of finding something that makes me feel healthy? Or if I am dealing with a financial situation, shouldn't I pursue something that allows for the result of having more money or so? Or if I don't have a job, shouldn't I pursue the result of getting a job or so? We're not denying any of that, but we're pointing to something very important here. When I feel that I'm a separate entity, every action is motivated by fear. A health issue, fear of dying. A financial situation, fear of I don't know, not having quote-unquote security or whatever. A relationship issue, a fear of not having love or whatever. But all of that, the plenty of what you are, the well-being that you are, is what you are always, that is being overshadowed by the belief that I'm a body and all the attention goes to the body. Consequently, all actions are motivated by fear. But when you know who you are, it's not that actions are not taken. Actions are taken anyway. They're taken all the time. You're not the one who are taking the action. They just happen. When you know who you are, whatever situation that presents itself, you will find yourself taking action if necessary. The difference is that the action is not motivated by fear, it's inspired by peace. You see? And if the body has a health issue, you may find yourself inspired to do something about it, but you're not attached to any results because you know you're not the body. It's like, okay, if it's my time to go, it's fine with me, no big deal. But if there's something that can be done about it and I find myself inspired to do so, sure, I'll do something about it. Meaning, something about it is done. You see, it's not that I'm doing anything. It's just that I notice how life is moving me to do something about it, knowing simultaneously that I'm not doing anything, that I'm not taking credit for any action. If a financial situation is there, when it's motivated by fear, there's panic, there's worry, there's concern. What do I need to do? When I know who I am, I just rest in beingness and I trust that if there's something that needs to be done in order for that situation to be solved, I'll find myself doing it. It could be answering an ad on the paper for a job, or maybe I feel inspired to go to this place, and all of a sudden I see an ad that says looking for help or something like that. Or I'm just sitting here at home and all of a sudden a friend of mine calls, someone that I haven't talked to in many years, and out of the blue my friend says, hey, I was thinking of you, how are you doing? And I said, well, I'm doing fine, except that I was laid off or whatever. And then he says, or she says, Well, interestingly enough, I got a friend of mine who owns a company and is looking for blah blah blah. Are you a programmer or something? Or I don't know. It doesn't matter. And I said, well, if you can be in touch with that person, let me give him a call. And then he or she gives him a call, and you find yourself getting a job, and you didn't do anything about it. I'm not speaking from theory. I'm speaking from experience. Okay. The same thing with anything. When you're pursuing the relationship, trying to say the right things and do the right thing, it's all a disaster. But when you let go completely and you're simply having a cup of tea looking at, at a sunset, and all of a sudden somebody walks and sits next to you because she needs to tie her shoes or he needs to, whatever, and then hi, how are you? My name is blah blah blah, and before you even know it, you see, life is unfolding on its own. But again, I'm not trying to use these stories to make this world of appearances more attractive. This world of appearances is the world of illusion, is the world of separation, is the world that ends up in death. So I'm not trying to make this thing I'm not trying to encourage you to make anything special of this world. No. However, we're here, or it seems as if we're here. Sure, if the opportunity is to live a happy life, as long as you don't believe the dream, that's fine. Again, this is not a pleasurable life when you're in pursuit of things. No. I'm talking about, you know who you are, you're free. You see? And now, from the freedom that you are, you see how life unfolds. Sometimes the body feels wonderful, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes you have this thing, sometimes you don't. Things change, everything moves, but you are unmoved because you're resting in the being that you are, you see? And you're not buying any results that the ego thought system will try to sell you, because even in the world of, in this realm of spirituality, the ego also sells results. It sells illumination. It sells awakening, which again, it puts the frame in the individual who thinks that in the future is going to become blah blah blah, enlightened, is going to awake or anything. But what we're pointing to here is that you are already that. You see, you are already free, or like the book of the series, the last book, you are freedom. This video is reminding you of what you already are not trying to tell you that if you do A, B, and C, you're going to get D. No. You are already everything. You are wholeness, but this is not a conceptual understanding. It's not like you go saying, I am free, I am wholeness. No. You're resting in it right now. Right now, you are that freedom. In spite of what may be taking place in the world of appearances. It doesn't matter, you are already resting in that freedom when you don't identify with the content of the mind. If you identify with the thoughts, if you believe in them, the freedom that you are has not been gone, it's been overshadowed. That's the difference. When you're in bed and you're sleeping and you're dreaming, you are always in bed, in spite that in the dream you're dreaming that you are somewhere else. You never left the bed, is that it's been overshadowed by a thought, and the thought is the attention in the dream, because the dream itself is a thought. So right now, you are free, totally free, right now, right this moment, no matter where you're at, no matter what you are doing or having or anything, you're free because of the nature of your being. The thing is that if your attention is in what you have, in what you're doing, in what you want to be, in how things should be, or where you don't want to be, when your attention is in the things you want from the world, in the thoughts that are selling you something that is going to give you whatever you think you don't have, when your attention is there, you're still free, but you feel imprisoned. Once I have more money, then I'll be free. Once I have the relationship, then I'll be happy. Once I get this, once I do that, you see, all of that are just, again, once I become enlightened, Once I awaken, you see, all of these are future events that are overshadowing the fact that you are. You see? This is so obvious, and the only reason why it appears so difficult is because the mind has an idea of how am I supposed to feel if I was enlightened, if I was awake, if I had this or that. That's why this is so difficult, apparently, because I already have people have a preconceived idea. I had it for many years, a preconceived idea that once I don't know, reach whatever spiritual pinnacle or goal or something, then I'm gonna feel I'll be in Zen the whole time. Everything is going to look in a particular way, and life taught me through experience that life is going, the experience continues, and it doesn't matter what the scenario may look like. There's an underlying peace. You see, the peace that surpasses all understanding. There's a background, so to speak, in which everything seems to appear, like the fourth book of the series. I am in which everything seemed to appear and disappear. You see? And now you can rest in the I am. Because you are. You see, it's not that you rest in the I am. You are. It's been overshadowed, overlooked by who you think you are. And that who you think you are is the one that is chasing results. You see? That's why in this video, sir, I'm not giving you any results or anything. I'm just pointing relentlessly of the fact that you are. That's it. I'm just going to keep pointing to the same thing. If you go into this video trying to look for a result, you're going to get disappointed, because I'm not going to give you any results. I'm pointing to what you are that is being overshadowed by who you think you are, and consequently that who you think you are is the one that is chasing results. But what you are is, you are being right now. That's what I say. If you don't identify with the content of the mind, if you don't believe the thoughts, what remains? Put it to the test. Don't take anything I'm saying as the absolute truth or something like that. I'm not an authority on anything. I'm just pointing you to the simple, to the obvious. And yes, the world of appearances is going to change. Everything is going to change. You're going to have all sorts of experiences, but now you're free. You see, you can see through the veil of illusion, so to speak, meaning through the veil of all the thoughts that are trying to overshadow what is. And now you experience the peace that surpasses all understanding. In other words, you are happy. And well, this is inspiration that came through. I hope it served. And as always, may peace permeate the mind so that love can become evident.